Okay, autofocus acquisition and tracking. Um, I had 3 people call me via telephone and 5 people email me about someone displaying pictures that are just so out of focus, it's abysmal. Now, let me harken back to the days of photography school when some of the best professional photographers would come out and shoot. Now, they would shoot off reams of shots, like on a very simple photo shoot, before recomposing the model in a different composition. You know, obviously so. Everybody makes shots that are out of focus, but those are not the ones that you show people. It's like, well, if you're showing people out of focus shots, either your eyesight's bad or you think that's good. And whichever one of those situations it is, that's not good. Um, I, I frankly was startled too. I was like, what? What? Jesus Christ! Those are, what? 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 No, no, those are out of focus. What? It's like, what? I mean, literally. Jesus Christ. Um, I'm gonna call this video "The Eyes Have It," and if the eye isn't in focus, you're taking a portrait, then nothing's in focus. I think some people are relying on a camera for eye detect, and that's not a good idea. Here's a simple rule of fact. There's 2 things that you should remember that are very, very useful. Unless you've got action going on, single point autofocus, right? Okay, there's a little bit of movement, single point continuous, like if something you can't pose, but it's generally not moving. It might be bobbing or weaving a little bit. Single point. Drop your point on your subject. A lot of people shoot, sports action wildlife that's moving. Very fine. A lot of wildlife, you've caught it, resting its ass, doing something. So, single point, fine. Wow. Yeah, those shots were so out of focus, I'm still kind of shocked. I had a lot of people contact me about those pictures, like, are you seeing this? I'm like, yeah, I can't believe it either. Um, but this is not about that. This is about, if it's not an action shot, and you have sufficient light, do you need to be using a 9 point, let the camera, choose the autofocus point on a 9 point? No, you shouldn't be, especially if the creature or the person, if it's a creature or a person, they have eyeballs, that should be in focus. If that means upping your depth of field, fine. Otherwise, you get a shallow depth of field, either drop that focus on the eyeball, unless there's some sort of special creative thing that you want to do on purpose to get your composition across. The eyes ain't in focus. It only has to be one eye, too. It doesn't have to be both eyes. If you want to shoot at f1.4 or shoot 50mm 1.2, and you only want one eye in focus, fine. Just make sure at least one of the eyes is in focus. If it's a creature that has eyeballs, one of those damn eyes needs to be in focus. And, wow. I won't mention those other photographs. So, single point autofocus. Point number 2 is failure to plan is planning to fail. When I'm shooting something, I can predetermine where my autofocus point needs to be. If I'm going to be shooting portrait or landscape, I will drop the autofocus point where it needs to be, because especially to catch a candid, where there's, a point there and you miss it, you don't have to frame the shot perfectly. As long as you have within 80% accuracy where that autofocus point needs to fall, that's fine. This is the reason for high megapixel cameras, for Christ's sakes. That means that if you wanted to frame your subject, up there, but it ended up being framed, so what? Crop the damn picture. Anybody that doesn't crop their shots, I think, is an idiot. If you're in a portrait studio or you're commanding what's going on, there's no reason to crop. You need to move in or move out with your feet, change your lens. I'm not talking about that. Okay? That is a situation where you have complete control over everything. I'm talking about everything else, which is like 95% of the rest of photography. Crop it. Just get there with your point, drop it on what you want to drop it on, crop off 15, 20%. If you're cropping off, you got a 24 megapixel camera, whoever makes it, Sony, Fuji, Nikon, who gives a damn. If you're cropping out, 20%, 25%, doesn't matter, to get that perfect placement of the composition that you desired, that is far, far superior than missing the shot because the moment came and the moment was gone. It's like, oh, I wanted to zoom in with my feet. I wanted to move my focus point up just a little bit higher. Screw all that crap. If you're going to miss the shot, especially when it comes to candid stuff on the street or other things that you know that something's about to happen, drop your point within 80% accuracy. And if you got some, skins on that bread, how your mother used to peel the crust around the edge of your sandwich or cut it off. Maybe she didn't. Trim the crust on your shot. Crop it in post. Stop trying to make perfect shots over stuff that you don't have perfect control over. So unless your shots are moving, and it's an action shot where you need like that 9-point or 4-point zone, continuous autofocus tracking, or in the case of a Fuji, you have to choose the custom type of action, whether it's approaching you or whether it's moving away from you. Unless it's that, if you can come up really quick and drop the spot with 80% accuracy, that's what you should do. That means you'll have a higher keeper rate. You got a 24 megapixel sensor or higher. Trim the crust off in post. Who cares if it isn't positioned absolutely perfectly? The point is that the moment came and went and you got the shot. Trimming 20% or less off a 24 megapixel RAW file, this is also another reason why you should be shooting frigging RAW. Trimming 20% out of your shot doesn't change anything. Stop trying to perfect stuff and then you end up missing the moment. I see people do that all the time. It's a huge damn mistake. Those pictures, by the way, and I had, a few of you call me and several of you email me, and I was looking at those pictures going, my God, this person is showing those pictures to people as like representations of good work. They're all out of focus. Not all of them, but most of them. One of the shots, the hair back here is in focus. The eyes are totally out of focus. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's okay to make mistakes like that, but you don't show that to other people. Wow. I think that was the situation, and I'm only speculating on this. It's undeniable that the shots are out of focus. Where someone was using the eye detect feature on the camera. Eye detect. No. When it comes to human beings, and you're quasi-posing them, it's like, do this. It means you got 2 or 3 seconds. Choose a single autofocus point, drop it where it needs to go with your joystick, and take the shot. Don't rely on the camera to automatically know, especially in low light, if the eye areas are in shade. The eye detect on your camera, I don't care which camera manufacturer it is, Fuji or Sony or anybody, it's no good at that. No good. No, it's not. That feature is no bueno. In general, that feature is no bueno, but especially if the eyes are in low light, low contrast. This camera's not going to work for getting the eyeballs in focus, or one of the eyes, at least one. So, remember those 2 points when it comes to autofocus. Single point unless it's moving. And number 2, if you get 80% of where you want it to be, get it. Don't miss the moment. Yeah, crop it in post. Thanks for watching so much. Just want you to be happy. Catch you later.